There's a faction of Ugandan society whose reaction is angry and violent, who can't stand being silent. But then there's another perspective. See, what does it take to govern effectively? One school of thought would say the rule of law. But not all Ugandans feel like that, given what the country's gone through before. Tribal persecution and gruesome war. Museveni came to power in the 80s, and as of 2018, 80% of Ugandans were under 35. Yeah, you heard me right, 35. They've never experienced another leader, and whoever that could be can't actually prove they've got the requisite experience to govern either. In fact, the other day Museveni gave a speech, and the way he addressed the country was particularly candid. Bazukulu, literally, grandkids. Bear in mind, Bobby Wine's 36. He hasn't really had to win popularity with a propaganda machine or using dirty tricks. He's self-made and he's well paid. To many ghetto kids, that's a heavenly mix. These times, come the next election, Museveni's 76. But there is something granddad-like about him. That's why so many can't imagine life without him. He represents the familiar, hence the parallels with tensions in Libya. First of all, the leadership of both Gaddafi and Museveni benefited their countries heavily. People often talk about both individuals' ability to move with political agility. Them man, they brought stability. And they brought the notion of government plausibility. But their countries were divided. More than they could take, a lot of young people decided. People were tired of poverty when politicians were commonly buying expensive shit. People were tired of censorship. These times, Kampala's seen a steep rise in street crimes, and in Benghazi, race riots eventually hit. And even then, Libya's unemployment rate was way better. Uganda's GDP per capita 7 years later is way deader. What I'm saying is it's not like people ain't fed up. If only corruption meant you could bribe someone so that change sped up. And corruption is another one. In fact, it's probably problem number one. Guys don't mind paying bribes and kickbacks if the give back is proportionate. But if they're paying into a system that doesn't benefit them, it's unrewarding, it's extortionate. Now with high rates of adult literacy and more exposure because of globalization, people start noticing what they don't have in an underdeveloped and overpriced nation. That's how you get a brain drain. You can't maintain growth when talent finds it hard to prevail. People get frustrated and end up taking their skill sets to a different part of the world. Now Libya experienced something similar. Guys would rather graft in a land that's unfamiliar than stay there, in a state that doesn't play fair. So you got people feeling cheated by the system, non-violent resistors being given time in prison, tensions over tribalism, talent walking out. I've forgotten which country I'm talking about.